Okay, so today's topic is about making a paper building. Um, this art element you're going to study is actually form or 3D. Okay, so when you're actually making the paper building, you are actually working in a 3D environment. Okay, so for today's lesson objective, so what you should learn for today, you're supposed to investigate how to work in 3D environment. So that's why I let you practice making a paper building. Okay, you have uh, you have always worked in a 2D environment, such as this one. This is 2D. You see everything is flat. You can see the tree, the people, everything, but you cannot see what is behind the tree, what is behind the people. Okay, so you're so used to working in 2D environment. What I'm going to do with you today is help you to work in a 3D environment like this. Okay, so don't worry, it's going to be very easy. Moving on, lesson outcome. What is this lesson outcome? So by the end of the class, you should be able to what? Color and build a cut out paper building using glue and scissors. Okay, so make sure you color it. After that, you cut it, and then make sure you glue it properly until it looks like a proper 3D building. Okay. But first, let us discuss what is this 1D, what is 1D, 2D, and 3D. Okay, so the question I would like to ask you is, can you guess the mathematical object? Okay, 1D means one dimension. 2D means two dimension, of course 3D means three dimension. Here is a clue. I have no sides, but I am long and you can measure me using a ruler. What am I? Okay, can you guess what is the mathematical object for this? Okay, as for 2D, the clue is this. I have four equal sides and I have a face, but I am flat. What am I? Okay, can you guess what is this? You have learned maths before, right? I'm sure you know what is this. And then 3D. I have 12 straight sides and I have 6 squared faces. What am I? This should be easy. So I'm going to give you some time to think of the answer. These are all the clues. Okay. Think of the answer. I'm going to show you the correct answer later on. Okay, have you done with your thinking? You ready with your answer? So I'm going to review the answers. Okay, 1D or one dimension. The first answer is a line. Okay, a line. 2D or 2-dimension. The second answer is actually a square shape. Okay, square shape, one face. This is the face, and then equal length. 3D or 3 dimensions, we are talking about cube. Okay, I'm not sure whether you have the correct answer, but we're talking about cube. So that's the answers for the previous question, for this question. Okay, moving on. Now there are different types of 3D. The first type I want to introduce to you is the realistic 3D. That means it looks very real. Okay, like this, it looks like a diamond shape, like the ring that you wear on your finger. So it's really, this is at the Jerudong Park. I'm sure you are very familiar with it. Another realistic 3D is this Statue of Liberty. Okay, these are all realistic 3D arts, and I'm sure you know some other statue which you are familiar with. They are all 3D arts. Moving on, another type of 3D, we have abstract 3D. Abstract means something like this. Not many, it's difficult to guess what is the meaning of these shapes combined together. What about this? It is quite difficult to understand what the artist is trying to do by combining all these shapes. So we call this abstract 3D. Okay, abstract 3D. Moving on, we have the assemblage. This is quite an interesting 3D. All you need to do is put all the different objects together. You see, it's all separated, and then you assemble. That's why it's called assemblage. Okay, you assemble these objects together, and that whole thing is called assemblage 3D. Same thing like this, you put all the different parts together, just put, and then the whole thing is called assemblage. Just remember, assemblage comes from the word assembly, where you have to line up. Okay. Simulated 3D. Okay, this one is actually flat, although it looks like it has a hole. It's actually flat. The artist tricked you by coloring, sketching it this way, so it looks like you can actually drop down, when in fact it is flat on a piece of paper. And here is me, as you can see, standing on the edge of the cliff, when in fact this is actually flat floor. Okay, this is actually very flat. This is just a simulated 3D. I can just jump here anytime I want, and I won't fall down. Okay, it's just a simulated 3D. It's a fake 3D. And by the way, I took this picture from the Genting Highland. If you have been there before, I think 2 years ago. Okay, simulated. Architectural 3D modeling. This looks real. You know, this mosque is the one near the Gadong Kulap roundabout. Okay, I actually modeled this using a computer software. You can see here, I modeled this using the advanced computer software when I was working for an architectural firm or company. Okay, it's not the real picture that I took. I actually modeled this on a computer, but it looks quite real. This is architectural 3D modeling, and there are many different types of 3D objects. These are just some only. Okay, here is something interesting for you. Watch TMNT in 2D and 3D. You know what is TMNT, right? For those who don't know, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. It's a very popular cartoon. Even when I was young, already watching TMNT. And your job is to find out how is 2D cartoon different from 3D cartoon? So we are going to compare 2D and 3D cartoon side by side, yeah? So let me start the cartoon.
Turtles. Splinter taught them to be ninja teens. He's a radical rat. Leonardo leads Donatello does machines. That's a fact, Jack. Raphael is cool but rude. Give me a break. Michelangelo is a party dude. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Turtle power.
Okay, so that's the end of the cartoon. So can you guess how is 2D cartoon different from 3D cartoon? Give you some time to think about it. Okay, have you thought of the answer? I'm just going to review some of the answers. I'm sure you have a lot of different answers. Here are just some of the popular answers. Moving on to the next slide. So simple answers is that some of you might say, I think in the environment looks more real compared to 3D. Maybe some of you have the answer. And another student might say, I think 3D cartoon looks smoother. And another student might say the turtles and objects look like it has a body, like you can actually grab the turtle in the 3D cartoon. Okay, I'm sure you have other answers, right? So for your homework, what are you supposed to do? You need to make a paper building. You're going to print this out, make a paper building. But remember to color it first, okay? It's easier when you color it first before you cut and paste later on. I suggest if you want to give it a good color, I suggest you can use the color chart, okay? You color everything and then make sure you write your name. I think you can write your name here on the signboard before you take the picture, okay? Yes, for example, you color here. Okay, after you add all the different colors, then you start adding the you're going to start cutting it first. Okay, cut these edges here, the one in both lines. Make sure you don't cut anything apart, okay? Make sure you cut everything together. After you cut, then you apply the glue here. It's for you to paste the building together, okay? is for you to paste a building. If you need extra if you need the sticky tape, you can use sticky tape. Okay, if you don't want to use glue, you can use sticky tape, whatever to hold the building together. Alright, so actually there is an instruction here already. Moving on, for lesson closure, what have we learned? We have learned what is 1D, 2D and 3D. We have learned the different types of 3D. We have learned how a 2D cartoon is different from 3D cartoon. We have learned how to build a 3D model of a paper building. Okay, so how do you submit? Okay, this is just an example only. Okay, take a photo of your work and attach it to your assignment in Microsoft Teams, then send to your teacher. So you attach your work here. See, there is a paperclip sign, right? You just attach it here. After that, you click the hand in button. Okay, deadline, you can see it outside this video. I'm going to post the deadline. And yep, that's it for today's online at lesson. Thank you very much.